Hello, hi, great to see you again. It's Will, here with another video, another set of thoughts, another few questions. If you've never been here, I'm Will from the UK, and I like to reflect on some questions and thoughts and ideas that I think are like important for me and maybe the zeitgeist. So, today, what I'm going to be talking about, in the title of this video, is the weight of expectations, friendships and mental health. So, I talk about mental health a lot. I think about mental health a lot. And I titled it this way because, like, friendships are whack in 2025, man. Friendships are wild. Friendships are weird, okay? So, I think, and the expectations around friendships and the expectations for ourselves and what we do with our time, I think all of this is a big, super disconnection, right? I was back in the direction of my last video about the cost of constant connection. I'm talking about the real, I guess, a deeper connection now, right? And I guess I feel these days we're all conditioned to just have less and less space around humans, right? Unless it's for work or whatever. Maybe this is just me. Maybe I'm just sat inside by myself all the time. But I do go out. But the way of expectations is heavy. Because, like, I don't know if you guys feel this, but, like, I feel really conflicted about having friends sometimes. I feel like sometimes I'm really, like, interested in, like, being around people. And I'm like, man, I haven't seen this guy in a while. I don't want to, like, reach out and hang out and be like, yo, how you doing? It's your boy, it's Will, let's hang out, let's have a good time. But I, like, also, like, don't sometimes. And I feel this because of, like, the expectations I think I feel from other people, but also how, like, I've changed and how my expectations of friendship, like, have changed too. And those expectations feel, like, really heavy and really apparent when I'm navigating the world and I'm, like, thinking about seeing my friends. And I guess I feel like they've changed. I've changed, but they also haven't changed, and I also haven't changed in ways. So I'm in this, like, interesting, like, dynamic. And I feel like a lot of my fellow males may resonate with this. Like, friendships kind of stay in the same place. They don't tend to change a lot, right? I feel like we get a certain point in our male friendships and we just stay there forever. We don't really, like, grow up together that much unless the environment, like, prompts us, right? So, like, I don't have any kids and I'm 30, right? And I have other friends that are, like, the same age as me, around 30, right? And they, as an interactive unit, as, like, how we hang out, like, it's not too dissimilar to, like, maybe when we were, like, early 20s, late teens, right? I feel like parts of how we interact haven't changed that much. Parts have changed, but I feel like something we do, especially as men, and I think this is, like, really highlighted in Tim Robinson's Friends with Paul Rudd. I think friendships for guys can be really weird and really messy because sometimes expectations can get changed up, expectations can get crazy, and sometimes I guess I'm more of I think Tim Robinson's the other extreme to me, where I'm kind of like somebody who'll, like, quietly kind of whisper off into the distance. I'm somebody who floats away and kind of takes care of myself in my own little bubble, and that reduces my ability to have, like, I think probably more fulfilling friendships. And I think that's, like, a part of my challenge. I think that's, like, the floor I inhabit, right? So it's tough, and I think it affects my mental health because it kind of makes me feel like I don't have any friends sometimes. And, like, that's not true because I do have friends. But that, like, they kind of reach out to me, and I feel kind of bad about that because I get really, like, locked in on what I'm doing professionally and creatively and hanging out with my wife. I try and put a lot of effort into my relationship with my wife. And then, like, I just forget about my friends. And, like, I still want to have friends, but I think the expectations are complicated as I grow and as my focus shifts, because I think, if I'm really honest with you all, I used to be a very silly Billy, okay? The silliest Billiest, right? Now, I'm still a silly Billy, right? I'm still silly sometimes, but I'm a lot less silly than I was when I was 21. I'm a lot more kind of focused. I'm a lot more like, yeah, you know, how's my pension pot doing? What are house prices looking like? You know? Maybe, you know, how I felt about a certain piece of art I like to think about, like Expedition 33, Games of Masterpiece. Don't want to spoil it. But it's all some depiction of grief in a really creative, emotive way. Big up on the French devs that made that game. A thing of beauty. And sidetrack aside, friendships are weird, because I think historically you were just like in environments with people and you were like friends, right? You were like, we all go to the factory or we all go to the farm or whatever, and we're just like buddies, and we like have this like collective idea and this collective culture based on our environment and like what we're doing together, right? If I was born 100 years ago, I'd be farming, I'd be going to the pub, maybe I'd be in the armed forces, maybe I'd be a policeman, maybe I'd be a bunch of things, maybe just kind of like a regular person doing a regular job, post worker, whatever, right? And I just know the people in my village and hang out. And now like I get to like make friends with people literally all over the world if I wanted to. I could be friends with somebody in Manila. I could be friends with somebody in Nagasaki. I could be friends with somebody who lives in Prague. That's cool as hell. That's really cool. But like there's so many options, and I think now that there's so many choices in the world of what the perfect friend can be, right? We see so many depictions of amazing friendships. I think we all forget that like you've got to put an effort into a relationship sometimes. Like the depictions we kind of see, and like I'm guilty of this. I don't put enough effort into my friendships, I think. But I think a lot of the depictions we see of friendships everywhere, online or what have you, like feast or famine. Like they're amazing, they're super emotive, super connective, or that people are just like not caring about each other, right? Being kind of like quote unquote bad friends. But I guess this brings me to my final point, right? Like, what is a good friend in the modern world? Is that listening to somebody? And I guess I'm conflicted because like I listen to people for a job, and like part of my work is like at kind of emotional depth, right? I'm like feeling people's emotions pretty intensely. I'm most of the way to being a therapist, and I work as a life coach. So I have an intimate contact with people. And for me, it's kind of confusing sometimes because I'm kind of like, hey, am I friends with these people? I'm not professionally, I have that boundary, but like I feel closer to some of my clients sometimes, and I don't think this feeling's true, but I think I feel closer because I see more of them because they're in an environment where they want to share and process stuff, and I'm very fortunate where I can be in an environment where they will share with and around me. But I guess that makes me feel closer because we're going through emotions together, right? And I think that's the kind of foundation of building connections, having a shared culture, having shared values, having shared emotional experiences. If somebody's sad and I'm sad with them, we're kind of connecting over a shared emotional experience. And like my IRL friends, like we do that in ways, but we don't do that in ways because of old forms of relating kind of coming in. And then I'm sat here like, well, like what are friends? Am I doing friends right? Sometimes. How often do you need to interact with a friend? But then I guess I feel a bit like is it a greedy selfishness there maybe? Like I really just want to be doing my thing, being in my lane, kind of when I'm with people I feel like, and I think this is another expectation of friendships, It's like I kind of have to like give and take, which is like reasonable, and I'm happy to give and take, and I do I try to give and take in all my relationships. Certainly give to more than others, but like I don't know if I'm getting the right amount. The balance, I guess, is something I think about a lot. The balance is so important. It's so critical, I feel, to feeling connected in friendships and in mental health in general, like having my mental health feel connected and grounded, because I guess something for me, and maybe this is my copium for not engaging with the boys as often as I might like, but on my own terms, because I guess I feel like I struggle to put down what I want a bit more often, and I'm trying to work on that. But feeling connected to a greater sense of purpose, a greater, bigger picture beyond the moment pleasures, right? I think that's really important for me, to have like a mission. But then like I want that, and then like what, I'm bringing that to my buddies who I still kind of joke about with like silly fart jokes, and we're still like an 18-year-old mode when we interact. Like, how do I bring that up? That's how I feel sometimes. And like I have kind of broken through that sometimes and asked some questions and used some of the skills, the communication skills I have, which is like cool. But then like there's a conflict there again. It's an inner conflict. It's like, is this forced? Is this fair to put everyone in this position? Interesting thoughts, interesting questions, and I no doubt will reflect on them more. But that's all I got for today. The weight of expectations, friendships, and mental health. It's an interesting intertwine. But I'm going to leave you with that for today. I appreciate you. You've been wonderful. I've been Will. See you in the next one.